We're here to stand up for what's right, and you can see a lot of messages out there. We support Canada, we support Israel.
Let us be luminaries of Jewish pride.
We need to stand up and say what's right and not be silent.
When we see truth completely neglected, then I think we all have to worry. If we do not have truth, then there's no way that we could actually have civilized society.
That Israelis somehow want to harm Palestinian civilians. It's Hamas, and I have no idea how Israelis got blamed when Hamas is the person that came into our country, killed our people, and then all of a sudden went and threw bombs aimed at Israel that landed back on its own people and tried to pin it on us.
This is Robert Kreischick reporting for Rebel News here in Ottawa, Ontario on Parliament Hill. Just at the wrap-up of a rally in support of Israel, and I got a chance to speak with some rally goers, some demonstrators, got to get some of their views on why they're here today, and we're going to share that with you folks in a moment. Now, I just want to remind you, we value your financial support to continue our operations, so please help us out at rebelfieldreports.com.
And be very, very proud in this country. We will continue to stand with you. Michelle, Marty, and I got back from Israel where the word surrender doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in their vocabulary.
Angry that at the United Nations and world agencies, Israel is treated differently than every other country.
Okay, so we're here with a bunch of folks at this demonstration in Ottawa. Let's call it pro-Israel, for lack of a better term. Why are you here today?
We're here to show our support for our Jews in Canada, our Jews in the world, and especially in Israel, where everyone's suffering, having a hard time. There's a lot of fake news, a lot of lies going on, and we're here to stand up for what's right, and you can see a lot of messages out there. We support Canada, we support Israel.
Let us be luminaries of Jewish pride.
We need to stand up and say what's right and not be silent.
I'm here today because I felt that there's nowhere else in the world that I would want to be. It's so incredibly important for us to stand firm with Israel. Israel, that right now in this moment of war, the winds of war which were cast upon it without any reason whatsoever other than hate, we have to demonstrate our support. We have to make sure that we do everything to demonstrate that we are willing to do everything to support Israel. At the same time, to fight the scourge of antisemitism, this horrible disease. And we here in Canada have an obligation to demonstrate that our values, our freedoms, what we enjoy here has to be also regarded and understood by so many that are against us, that if they are against Israel, then they are against the values which are so important to us. So we stand together with Israel strong, and in a way it demonstrates that we'll not stop.
If not now, when our people are in such a situation, then when? The hate and the lies are over the top, and we need to come and not be afraid and show support.
We're here to combat anti-Semitism, to stand up for our people and ourselves, and to fight for our right to exist, not only in this country, but in the world, and be a part of a global community.
Lives matter. It doesn't matter whose life it is. And when we talk about diversity and inclusion and rights and all of those things that have been being addressed every day in corporate and in other places, we need to see that it's equal to everybody and not just one or the other.
What would you say is the biggest misconception, deception, lie, misunderstanding that Canadians should understand about, let's say, the past 2 months, or more broadly, Israel's conflict with Arabs since, let's say, 1948 and before?
I think the biggest misconception is that our conflict is with Arabs. It's not. Arabs and Jews, we go way back. We're not enemies. Terrorists are enemies. People that go to kill other people for the sake of who they are, not because of defense. Israel is defending itself. Its Arab population, its Christian population, and Jews all over the world against Hamas, not against Palestinians. Palestinians anywhere. There's Palestinians all over the world.
I think that the tragedy right now is the fact that people don't want to know their history, don't want to understand history, don't take the time. So when we see truth completely neglected, then I think we all have to worry. If we do not have truth, then there's no way that we could actually have civilized society. And that is so incredibly important. There are two incredible pillars that we have to remember: truth and love. And if one of those is gone, then we are finished. And we have to recognize how important that is today. And that's why we need to all recognize that Israel needs to be supported and needs to make sure that others understand that Israel is fighting a battle against Iran, against its proxies, and we are all at risk if we do not do everything we can to make sure that Israel succeeds.
So the past few months, they're just outright blatant lies. The first thing that people don't understand is that Israelis don't have anything against Palestinian people. Israelis have no problem supporting Palestinians, making their lives better, giving them work permits, and this whole thing was twisted to make it look like Israelis somehow don't want Palestinians to exist, that Israelis somehow want to harm Palestinian civilians. It's Hamas, and I have no idea how Israelis got blamed when Hamas is the person that came into our country, killed our people, and then all of a sudden went and threw bombs aimed at Israel that landed back on its own people and tried to pin it on us. So that is the most important thing I want everybody to know. Israelis do not hate Palestinian people. That's the biggest one. And as a daughter of a Holocaust survivor, as the granddaughter of people who survived Iraq genocide, survived Syrian genocide, I am here because Israel exists.
I think Canada has been there from the very beginning to support Israel, and it's extremely important in the context of our values, as I was saying earlier, the principles. When we look at the rule of law, when we look at our democratic values, all these are akin to Canada. We must stand together.
A lot of Jews are scared to walk around and say that I'm a Jew, but we are proud Jews. And they've tried to do this before many times.
For generations.
We're still here. We're still saying the truth, and we're still proud, and we're still doing good in this world. And you see us all, we are peaceful, we are happy, we clap, and we are joyous. None of this shame and you're evil and you're bad. We're all like, let's be proud and make the world a good place, a happy place, a place where everybody should feel safe.
Now, I just want to remind you, we value your financial support to continue our operations, so please help us out at rebelfieldreports.com.